Yo, are you bored yet? I hope you're all right and that you spend an okay weekend. I know that the situation is not improving, but we're gonna keep exploring easy to do patterns from Floorwork just to get away from all that shit that's going on for just a few minutes and make sure that we take care of our bodies in the process. So if you haven't, I invite you to watch the first video I made 2 days ago. I received loads of very kind comments, which really invite me to do more of them. So I'm thankful to all the people who took the time to actually write about it. Thank you. If you haven't watched the video, just go back to it maybe, although I will go back over the patterns. I will go over the patterns again today. But the idea is to build upon what we see every day so that there is some form of continuity between one video and the other. So today you will need that much space. 1, 2. If you can find yourself 2 meters by 1, you can do this workout today. So push the furniture away, push the dog away, and just try to find 5 minutes of your day to dedicate to that. Lowering the volume, I want you to remember that we saw 2 movements on Saturday. The first one, we started here, this shin box 1990 position, and we were rolling around here. And like, this looks easy, but there's loads of tiny details. And rest assured, I still have my advanced students do that on a weekly basis. So, nothing wrong about doing this Finnish roll, this is the way we called it. And just to refresh your memory, we were starting in the 1990 here, using our hands as the first point of contact with the floor, bending the elbows so that we didn't crash our shoulders on the floor, and then rolling softly on the shoulder, going on our back, dropping the knees to the other side, and from here pushing on both hands to come back up. There's many more details, but that's the very first layer of complexity we want to address. I'm rolling, shooting my knees to the other side, whoop, pushing. Then if I want, I can slide my hands overhead to make the movement a bit more graceful, depending on if you're here for the movement culture, locomotion aspect of it, or martial arts, or for the dance part of it, where aesthetics are gonna matter a bit more. Right, we saw this one, if you remember, and then we saw another one. Again, it started from this position, and we're going this way, towards our belly. And I was saying we have to slide the back leg, the foot of the back leg, so that we end up on both hips, and then cross the legs again to come back up here. So that was like the sister move of the first move we've seen, and I call this one the dive. Knees facing the left or the right. In my case, they're facing the left here. Hands go down, my belly goes down, and then I cross the legs here and push on my hands to come back up, trying to minimize the tension in the process, which, as we will see over the next few weeks, will make a big difference in the way you move. There's a big difference between this, when I'm over tense, and this. And it's not so much about technique as it is about awareness. And so my job is really to find the awareness cues, the rules of grammar, as I call them, that can make your movement better in just like a switch. You see it, you correct it, you fix it, boom, done. Rather than learning loads and loads of movements and not quite finding that what binds them together, which is the qualities of movement. Anyway, what I want you to do right now is try to combine both of them before we see a new movement. So we're gonna start here and we're gonna do the second move, which was called the dive. We'll look at my feet, they slide on the floor rather than step like that. So I was sliding on my belly. Instead of crossing the legs here to come back up, I'm gonna roll on my back and perform the second half of the first movement, the Finnish roll, to come back up. So I'm merging both movements together, and that's just a very nice, gentle way to start putting together your vocabulary. Knees facing this way, I'm gonna go dive, roll on my back, and come back up here. So I'm using the first half of the dive. I'm not coming back up, I'm rolling on my back. I happen to be on in the perfect position for me to come back up like I was doing in a Finnish roll, and I come back up here. So look, this is where these two movements are, that they really go nicely together. For the Finnish roll, I start in that position, but I end up just going on my back and never traveling on my belly. And in the dive, I start in the same position, and I end up just going on my belly and never touching the floor with my back. You have to understand this. Now, if we bring both of them together, it goes belly, roll, and back. It could also go back, belly, and up. Right? So that's what you have to work on. Try to bring these two movements together. That's simple. Tomorrow we will see something fun, that is what we call a bump spin, and we will try to integrate it with this movement. Have fun. Try both combinations and try to include this in the routine that we saw 2 days ago. If you have any question, hit me up, leave me a comment, and I will get back to you. Again, I hope you are keeping well and you're not getting too crazy with the confinement.